So do you believe that people still want to buy from people?
100%. It's old and it's dated and people don't like to hear it, but people buy from people they know, like, and trust, period, end.
I think the more online we've become, more digital we've become, and I'm in the heavy construction space. Like I work for a company that sells heavy construction equipment, and all those customers want to buy from a person, right?
100%.
It's very complicated. Okay, we have a good one today. I don't know this guy.
You don't, yeah, you don't.
I don't know him. I've not known anyone you brought here, but I feel like we leave as friends. So another one of your guests, maybe I'll have a guest someday.
Yeah, and this person doesn't know you either.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. But I like him already.
Yeah,
we've had some fun laughter and banter.
Yeah,
you have to. I mean, you do have to say that with me this close to you.
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I'll say something different later.
So, introducing Sims Tillirson. There's gonna be a lot of people that see this, that know who he is because he's connected to the industry that I'm in, and then everybody from the construction industry is gonna have no idea who he is. And so, so Sims, thank you so much, dude.
I'm really glad to be here. Yeah.
For coming and, we've gotten to know each other a little bit, maybe let's say from a little to decent amount, but I don't know you a ton. But I have a lot of respect for you. I love the transparency that you bring to the table that I think impacts people in a positive way. And so that's great. And I know you've got a story and I can't wait to hear it. But I think what would be good right off the offset is to share with the community what you are doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have my hands in all kinds of stuff. Currently have ownership in 3 companies, but we'll talk about one. Tillirson Consulting Group is where I make most of my money. Serve as a fractional revenue executive for small brokerages and vendors in the employee benefits space. And then I do a ton of coaching for producers to help them with modern outbound and social sales, as I call it. And the last kind of piece of that puzzle is keynote speaking on mental health.
Okay. Yeah. And I think, we can probably get into all of that a little bit, but I think with the growth mindset that we're focused on, is really getting into the mental health piece. But maybe you can share a little bit your journey, kind of, more your kind of work journey and what led you to this point that you're at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started my career running grain elevators for Sunny Purdue and got to the point I couldn't afford to put gas in my truck.
Where?
In Lynchburg, South Carolina.
Okay. All right.
And fell ass backwards into a job at Unum Group, an entry-level job. And that was about 11 years ago. So they let me climb through operations, underwriting leadership, sales, national partnerships. And then I jumped into the startup space, primarily enrollment firms, benefits administration technology firms. Had the opportunity to sell an employee engagement technology firm to a brokerage. Went back into big corporate America at Alight Solutions for about a year, and then took a head of sales job at an actuarial consulting and software firm before shifting them to a product-led growth model and effectively working myself out of a job. So January 6th of this year, I went out on my own into Tillirson Consulting Group.
Yeah, so product-led growth means our product sells itself.
Essentially,
kind of? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not a good position to be in when you're the salesperson.
It's not, but it was good for the business.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a product that sells itself.
Really, only software products.
Yeah.
Only software products.
Yeah. In the B2B space, that's the only type of products I'm familiar with that will work that way. And essentially, you leverage broad paid ads and content marketing.
Okay.
Drive people to a sales page, and they buy
then
software.
They can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the things that we buy on Amazon, I mean, there's not a salesperson that told me to buy that.
No, I'm thinking why couldn't, are cars that way? Like you can just go buy a car online.
Yeah.
Yep. They're becoming that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still good car salesmen in this world, though, for sure.
That is true.
There are a few of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you would coach them, wouldn't you?
I don't know if I'd be great at coaching car salesmen, honestly.
Well, you said, okay, what kind of sales reps are you coaching?
So I only coach salespeople in employee benefits. So
it's
brokers,
very narrow.
yes.
You very targeted. Okay.
Absolutely. So brokers who sell to HR executives and finance executives, and then the people who sell to brokers to then sell to HR and finance executives.
Yeah.
Okay, try me. Coach me. What's the first thing you'll tell me?
To show up authentically as yourself and build a real relationship with a
Yeah.
person.
That's good.
That's number one.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you're not ready to do that, everything that I coach is unscalable outbound, as I call it. So you can't automate it. You can't use AI to send thousands of it. It's got to be one-to-one to make a connection. And if you're not willing or ready to do something like that, you'd never work with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say as a whole in the consulting business altogether, I mean, we're a part of, consulting, right? But I mean, the reason why a company would make a change is because they've chosen to trust that other person more.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about trust.
Yeah.
And you've got to be authentic to do that, like all the things you're saying, right?
Absolutely. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, services and products aren't a moat for us anymore. Like
Yeah.
you may have a service that Aon doesn't have
Mhm.
today,
Yeah.
but if they find out that you have it, they'll mimic it. So
Yeah.
the last moat is our authentic selves.
Yeah. It's so good, man.
So do you believe that people still want to buy from people?
100%. It's old and it's dated and people don't like to hear it, but people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Period. End.
Yeah.
I think the more online we've become, more digital we've become, and I'm in the heavy construction space. Like work for a company that sells heavy construction equipment, and all those customers want to buy from a person, right?
100%.
It's very complicated. But I think the more I can buy a sweater online, and I mean, those things are easy, but if somebody can give me a concierge level of customer service, like if I call Chase Sapphire, there's a human that picks up the phone. Like, are those the type of things that you're teaching? Like you said, be authentically yourself, and then what? And then what? What do you tell them?
Care.
Yeah.
Is the second piece, because I think all too often salespeople think they can lead with whatever their product is or whatever the features of that product are. But at the end of the day, no one that's ever bought from me has cared about the features of my product until I show them that I care about them, I understand them and their business, and that I am aware of problems that they face and willing and able to solve them.
Yeah. So good.
That's good.
That human connection, I think, is a awesome thing that you're focused on. And I think, all firms, need somebody like you kind of sharing that. And I've had that guidance before too. So that's cool. So are you finding a pretty good amount of success, with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is my first time full-fledged doing the entrepreneurship
Yeah.
thing, so
Yeah.
I won't say that it's been
When
easy
did you go,
or smooth.
When did you go full-fledged?
January.
Yeah.
So we're in month 9 at the time of this recording. I will pay myself a little more than I made in my last year as a W-2 sales leader
Okay.
this year.
Well, congratulations,
Which
man.
is success. More success, though, is I take my sons to school every day and eat lunch with them every day.
Yeah.
And get that, really live the life I want while maintaining a similar level of income to what
Yeah.
I'm used to.
What's the hardest thing?
The hardest thing is it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
When things hit the fan, when I made not enough this month and I don't have enough to cover the expenses I thought were coming in, and I can make up for it next month, right? But I don't have somebody to talk me off the ledge or to help me through the problem. It's all on me to solve everything. That's the hardest part.
What's
Yeah.
is the best part like taking your kids to school, or is there something different that you didn't expect?
The best part purely from the job is just getting to focus on helping other people step into who they are and be able to share that with others. I love that, but yeah, I can't discount the life that
Sure.
this work allows me to live.
Yeah. And I imagine you've got this freedom to do things the way that you think they need to be done.
Well, absolutely, and have the
Yeah.
freedom to experiment and fail and make changes as fast as I'd like to. I mean, my business looks markedly different than it did in January in terms of the types of clients I take on and want to take on.
Yeah.
And you get to choose. Like no
Exactly.
one's telling you, you get to decide. There's some real freedom in that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you said, okay, you have the consulting thing, the coaching thing. We've talked about those. And then your last, you said that you were a keynote speaker. Talk about it.
So I'm a young guy, but I've lived a lot of life, have experienced a lot of beautiful and horrible things. But I'm also incredibly successful, I think, for a person my age. And so one of the things that I like to do with my speaking is talk about statistics that we see in the mental health landscape, and then put a face to the name. Because I think all too often we believe that mental health struggles happen to a certain type of person, right? And so I want to remind people that it can happen to anyone, even a person that you may look at as successful. It can happen to anyone. And then, like I mentioned to you earlier, I scare people with all of the really deep, dark details of the trauma that I've experienced. And then my call to action to those people, because they're typically decision makers for benefits, is to, hey, talk to your employees and see how your culture really is around mental health. Would an employee really come talk to you if they were struggling? The answer is usually no.
Yeah.
And then take a look at your benefits package. For most employers, all they're offering from a mental health perspective is an EAP, which
What's
is
that?
an employee assistance program.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for calling that out. And that can be a piece of a working mental health strategy, but it's not enough for people in crisis, and it's not enough for the myriad people that are not currently in crisis. So again, just using my trauma to try to raise awareness that we need to do better for employees in the U.S. from a mental health perspective.
Tell me about why you think an EAP is not enough.
Yeah, so I think the first component is that EAPs are designed for like just-in-time support when you're going through something extremely difficult. The number of employees that are actively in crisis at any given time is very, very small.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're only reaching a small number of employees by design. Then EAPs were designed to be very low cost so that many employers could bring them on. That means by default, they inhibit utilization of their own product. There are some exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, because the price point is so low, EAPs produce ghost networks, which is when they tell you they have covered providers that don't exist. They only allow you to triage via phone instead of providing text or online access, and they just limit access to prevent utilization.
Yeah.
Ew, I don't like that. Okay, well, let's talk about how
She hasn't been in a benefits conversation.
No, I haven't. This
Yeah.
is my first benefits conversation, even though I'm best friends with you and
Yeah.
we talk a lot more about benefits than I want to. Just kidding. I love hearing.
We've already talked more about benefits
Yes,
than I wanted to.
I was like, what are? Tell me, define crisis in these situations, because I believe my company has the employee EAP. And maybe like if a fellow employee dies unexpected, like we might get don't forget we have this hotline or whatnot, something like that. What's crisis to you?
Yeah, crisis might be something like that. Something very traumatic happened to my friends and family or close to them. I've never had the need to talk to a therapist, but now I feel like I do.
And that's what it is. It's a therapist. It's a counselor. It's
for mental health. Most EAPs also cover financial wellness and kind of other needs.
okay.
But it's a means to connect to a therapist. Now, whether you can get into a therapist
the answer
within
is usually no.
30 days is
I think the
pretty
average in the U.S. right now is like 49 days.
Yeah.
Is that because lack of funds, or is there not enough? Are there not enough
I think
therapists and counselors?
there are not enough therapists, but also we don't, as a benefits community, do a great job of guiding employees to available resources that their plans cover. But yeah, I mean, these EAPs can be really good for the people in crisis who will actually use them. But I think what we leave out is, what about the people that are not in crisis but are at risk that need resources now? And what about, construction? We can take this as an example. Construction as an industry has the highest suicide rate of any industry in the country. Okay. But these guys, they don't want to go, for the most part, they don't want to go talk to therapists. So there are also non-clinical options, like Listeners on Call is a Texas-based company, and there's another one called Shoulder, where you have people who are not clinicians who are just trained to listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but we need solutions to meet every kind of person.
Okay.
Yeah.
The motivational speak or the public
This building
speaking.
is shining its light in my eye right now.
You are glowing.
You really are.
Glowing. Yeah. I'm so intimidated. Tell me, what do you talk about in front of groups of people?
I talk about my experience being sexually abused by an older cousin, male cousin, then a female babysitter, and then a male church leader, all before I was 18 years old. And what that did to me was my sweet brain tried to protect me, and I repressed all those memories until I was about 21. But what that did to me is, kind of as soon as I could experiment with things that brought me dopamine and serotonin, I dove all in. So when I was 13, I started drinking and doing drugs and engaging in promiscuous kind of activities. And I never really knew why. And it was, puzzling to my parents, because I'm a straight A student, plays a bunch of sports, plays a bunch of instruments, super involved in church, right? Everything from the outside looks like it should be hunky-dory, but I'm acting out and doing all these bad behaviors, right? And it wasn't until I was 21 that I was sitting in the parking lot of my dorm at Presbyterian College in Clinton, South Carolina, after being kicked out of Georgia Tech for the second time.
Congrats.
Thank you. I don't know many people that have done it twice, so I like to call it out. And the memories just rushed back to me of
Really?
an assault.
Not
Truly.
like just sitting there, and then you're like,
yeah.
Wow.
I remember these things. Okay. What'd you do?
I called my Coke dealer and got an 8-ball and went to the store and bought a 30 rack of beer and called all my buddies and said, hey, let's not go to class today. We're going to get tore up.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of my solution for
For
pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while. And it wasn't until I was 23 that I started taking like therapy seriously, even though I'd been in and out of it. But I really didn't start doing the real work to heal until it'll be seven years ago next month. I quit drinking and had previously quit using cocaine and prescription painkillers. Being prescribed 120 Vicodin a month is a story for another time maybe, but it took me a long time to get to the point where I was willing to really face the demons without a crutch of like alcohol.
What got you there?
My family. So my mother-in-law was a nurse for 40 years, and she noticed that my pupils were always dilated. And so she just confronted me one day and was like, what are you taking? And I was like, well, I take 4 Vicodin a day and 1 muscle relaxer a day. And, and I was like, and might have a drink or 2 at night, but this is what the amount of medicine I'm prescribed to take. I'm not taking more than I'm supposed to. This is what this doctor thinks I need to be doing. And then, so that got me off Vicodin.
That conversation.
That conversation.
That confrontation. Okay.
Because of course I know it's kind of too good to be true that I have this prescription, but I really don't believe at the time that I'm abusing it, because I'm taking as needed. But I trust my mother-in-law with medical stuff, at least.
Noted. Let's highlight that line to replay.
I'm definitely going to show this to her. And so for her to say that, I knew that it was a problem, and I was willing to get off of that. And I had a few months before been at a really, really fancy wedding where I live in Columbia, South Carolina, and I was doing key bumps of cocaine on the dance floor, and my wife had to drag me off the dance floor and give me an ultimatum that she would leave me if I
Did she
pulled some
see you
shit like
do
that.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, everyone saw you do it.
I think so.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
it wasn't like on purpose. I was
Right.
drunk as
Sure.
all get out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they both pushed me very hard, very directly to quit those things. I had to make the decision for alcohol on my own.
Okay.
And that one was tough. But I am a musician. I was playing a show 7 years ago in the North Georgia mountains, and I blacked out at some point during the show because I had like 12 beers. But when I came back to, I was in my running truck, beer in the cup holder, lit cigarette, sitting at the edge of Lake Lanier, which is a lake near Atlanta in the North Georgia mountains, and had lost 4 or 5 hours of time. Just absolutely no clue what had happened. And I've done way worse stuff than that. Way worse. But that, I don't know what it was. That was the moment where I was like, I'm never going to have a drink again, because I'm terrified of what might have happened or what could happen if I do this again.
And that was 7 years ago.
Yeah, it was October 25th, 2018.
Okay, you're almost
So
at
your
8.
wife is in the picture. Tell me about your kids.
So I've got an almost 4-year-old named Jack
Okay.
and an almost 2-year-old named George.
So no kids at this point.
Had no kids at this point, thankfully.
So
Okay.
it's almost like grace that you were able to get to that place before kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm a pretty good dad.
Yeah.
And I would have been a very bad dad.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So is your heart around the kind of the more, let's say, the more constant need of mental health versus more the reactionary need of mental health related to the fact that you had kind of deep demons that, you know, if you had a resource that could have helped when it wasn't a time of like deep need, then maybe there would have been less pain, right? Like
Exactly.
yeah.
I mean, in most things in life, we aim to equip people with skills and coping mechanisms before they need them. We just don't approach mental health or health in general in that way in the U.S.
So in all these seasons that you've had, because it seems like there's been multiple seasons, right? Was there any suicidal?
Yeah,
thoughts?
absolutely. So I've struggled with suicidal ideation since I can remember.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try not to break while I talk about this, but about 2 years ago, I was the farthest I've ever taken this beyond like cutting a little bit and dealing with suicidal ideation. I planned my own suicide November 2 years ago. My son George was about 6 weeks old. I was in Asheville, North Carolina for my little brother's wedding, and I just could not take the pain that I was in anymore. And I figured, hey, my kids, my wife, my whole family is here. They're not going to have to find me in our house. They're not going to have to find me anywhere I can do this. It will be hard for them, but they'll be able to take care of each other. And yeah, I had a great time at my brother's wedding because I felt like weight lifted off my shoulders. But when I got back to a little condo we have in Asheville, my son Jack was inconsolable, beside himself, horrible fever, screaming, and would only take help from me. My in-laws were there, my parents were there, my wife was there, would only take help from me. So I sat up with Jack all night, and the next day I was just like, I gotta take care of my kid. He's sick, and so put him in the car. I drove back to Columbia about 3 hours and sat in the urgent care with him all day. And my wife took the baby back to her parents' house so the baby wouldn't get sick. And I just focused on getting Jack better, and I kind of stopped thinking about my plan for a couple of weeks until the guilt kind of ate me up. Too bad I had to tell my wife about it, and then talk to my therapist about it, of course. So that's the closest that I've ever gotten to bad joke, pulling the trigger, so to speak.
You said it.
But
that didn't originate from substance.
No,
it's
several years clean at that point.
Yeah, it's just it's a symptom of my CPTSD
Yeah.
that I deal with on a pretty ongoing basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at that moment, like, as you're dealing with all of that trauma from your past, like, you are clean. You had 5 years of sobriety at that point, right? You said it was 2 years ago, maybe a little more. Like, had you stopped being active in your pursuit to deal with that trauma? Like, why did that sneak in there like it did?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So my wife had emergency C-sections with both of our kids, which meant that she was much more out of commission than a regular birthing woman would have been, right? So I had to shoulder more of the load from a childcare perspective, which meant that I was sleeping even less. Like, we weren't doing shifts, right? Staying up a lot. And for me, it took me years to learn this, but for me, the best way to make sure that I'm in really, really good mental health is that I get 8 hours of sleep every night. I'm eating pretty clean. I get sunshine every day, and I lift weights every day. I was not doing any of those things when my baby was at that age. So knowing that now, imagine that just compounding every day for 6 weeks. And I was also in a position at the time, from a work perspective, where I was on paternity leave, but was having a lot of financial success, but I was always on a plane, always working, and I was inching toward clinical burnout at the time that I went out on pad leave. So that's my starting point.
Define that, clinical burnout.
Yeah, so I'm not great at this. I only know about it because of my therapist, but the idea is that we work ourselves so hard that we enter a deep state of depression where we don't want to do anything. We can't imagine doing anything because our body is just so overworked and so overtired.
Okay.
And for me, it was, I had a 20-state territory through the central U.S. and I live in South Carolina. So I knew that going into the job, but I was on a plane all the time. I was never with my one kid that was born. I was never with my wife. And again, I was just working all the time. So I didn't set myself up for success in this regard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've been in one of those situations where I was in a really deep burnout. You know, it was when Simple Pay Health started, and all of a sudden COVID starts. And normally when you go to market with a solution like Simple Pay, maybe you fly to New York, meet with 2 brokers. Well, now it's like we can be on 8 different Zoom calls presenting Simple Pay a day. And then the amount of RFP flow that comes from that and everything. It was at nobody's fault. It was like the situation, and it was a really, really innovative, thing that was going on. But it was brutal. I mean, just working until midnight.
Yeah.
Just to and you only did it just so the next day you're hoping that
you only have to work till 11.
Yeah. It's just like, if I don't work till midnight right now, I know I'm working till midnight the next day, and then the next.
And we're not built to do that.
No,
we're built to like frolic in the forest and stuff.
No.
So tell me, okay, you explained what you weren't doing during that time period, and if you're not in these places of routine and consistently doing those things, like in where you are today at our table. By the way, how old are you?
33.
33. Okay, because you brought up your age a couple times, like where you are at your age. Is that a millennial, Gen Z? Okay, so you're the last of the millennials.
The last.
No.
I think of the millennials.
No, you're the first of the millennials.
Oh yeah.
You're an elder millennial.
Yes, you are super elder. You're one of the last of the millennials, and I'm older than him.
You're a boomer millennial.
So what? Okay, you're lifting weights. You're getting sunshine. Like, are you actively talking to a therapist or a counselor regularly now? Okay.
Yeah. So I have a therapist that I've been going to for about 6 years. I see her pretty regularly, and then I have a coach, like an executive coach, but we work less on my business and more on the 6 inches between my ears.
Okay.
And he's been one of the most impactful people in terms of helping me build coping mechanisms to deal with ideation, or I experience panic attacks, deal with stuff like that, just through breath work and
Okay.
mindset
I was going to ask
work.
for an example of a
Yes.
coping mechanism. So, what did you just say?
Breath work, somatic breath
okay.
work.
All
yeah.
right. Okay.
So I have a bunch of like breathing techniques that I will do in certain situations to lower my heart rate, calm my fight or flight response, and
Are you doing
keep me
that
in the
now?
pocket.
Can we practice one?
During this podcast.
Can you teach us how to?
I will teach you guys one. if
Yeah.
you want
Oh,
to. It's
okay.
it's kind of silly, but it
Okay.
works really well. So Jack Rosenkrantz, if you're listening to this, I apologize for butchering your technique. You guys familiar with like Gregorian monks? The monks that like chant all the time and stuff.
I can
Just as a
imagine
as a
it.
Yeah,
concept.
from movies, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a reason that they do that. So
This is about to get loud, isn't it?
chanting and singing stimulates our vagus nerve,
Okay.
which is a nerve that we can manipulate when we're in fight or flight to calm us down. So the breath that I'm going to teach you is called the bumblebee breath, and it stimulates your vagus nerve.
Did you say Vegas, like Las Vegas nerve?
Vagus.
Okay.
I don't
lost.
think yeah.
Well, I'm.
Good
Sounds
question.
like Vegas.
Hey,
Okay.
good question, Lori.
Thank
That
you,
was
Matt.
a really
Just
good
adding
question.
tremendous value.
That's what I do.
So it's really simple. Anytime we want to breathe, getting into a good nice posture, open chest, really feeling yourself in your body. And this is going to get more woo-woo than this. But if you would, close your eyes with me.
No, no.
So we're going to, after we feel calm, we're going to take a deep breath through our nose, and we're going to try to fill the air around our heart. So big diaphragm breath, fill up through the chest. And then you can just hold it for just a moment, and then our exhale is going to be a hum. That's where the bumblebee part comes from. So I'll start us off. Let's do an exhale. All right, now big breath in. We're going to hold at the top and then just hum out. Can you imagine if I just made that up and made you guys do it?
Did you?
No, I did not make it up.
Mine was
opened
like a
my eyes.
really high pitch hum.
Yeah, I noticed it, and I
I
looked
think
at
I
you.
did it from the wrong place.
I opened my eyes and I saw you.
The wrong hum hole, brother.
I also looked at you. I did not obey commands.
That's okay.
I fully did it, but something happened to where it's like my hum
You
was
were higher
happening
than me.
out of my esophagus
You were
or
tenor.
something.
So that's a good breath to use when we're what they in the biz call activated, which is for me being anxious or frustrated
Okay.
or just generally pissed off. But I spend a lot of time breathing, which I know can sound silly to people that don't
No.
do it. But what it helps me with is being really, really, really present, understanding how I feel in my mind and in my body, and just living inside of the moment that I'm in, which is a huge struggle for a person with tremendous anxiety.
Do you do the bumblebee around others? Like you're in a meeting, all of a sudden you go,
I should. No, I do
That'd be authentic.
on
It
like
really would.
Zoom calls and stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm stressed or if
Yeah.
I can hear one
Just
of my
mute
kids
it.
screaming down the hall, I will just mute it. And I don't do the bumblebee breath for this. I like the deep breath in, and then I hold the air at the top with a few other techniques, and it takes me to a place in my mind where it's just like a blank slate.
Mm.
Very, very calming. That's the one I like to do. But yeah, I do it throughout my day.
Mm.
Even during calls, I do it a ton when I'm with my
sure,
kids.
I bet.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, that was actually
Yeah.
really cool. I'm going to implement that.
I think I will too. I don't breathe. I don't focus on my breathing enough.
No,
Because I mean, even in sports psychology, which is my past life and that kind of stuff, breathing was like everything to optimize.
huh?
You
I
know.
bet, especially
Yeah.
in golf, like calm down before
Yeah.
the shot.
Yeah.
A lot of this mindset work is like very similar to what you would think of a top tier golfer or like
Yeah.
a Steph Curry or somebody like
Yeah.
that doing to make sure that they can play at their highest level all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
I have this exhale that I do. My coworker specifically.
I just don't believe you at all. I don't know
Why? Why don't you believe me? It's not. It's. I didn't.
I
learn
feel like
it.
you're gonna be. Oh, this is the dragonfly breath.
No, but maybe that's what we call it because it's. I do it. I don't know that I do it. He pointed it out, And he calls it your reset. That's what, because I'm like, like it's, I mean,
No,
it sounds
I've witnessed
different.
that.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm not
Yeah.
mad. It's just like, I just do it. And he's like, oh, you just reset yourself. And I actually do feel like
Just
I did.
the factory reset.
Yeah. The dragonfly reset is what I just did.
I mean,
The cicada reset.
there's got to be a legitimate reason that it works, but I think whatever
Yeah.
works is
Is what I,
good to keep doing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you think about bringing oxygen into your body. I mean, that's how we live.
That makes sense.
So, I want to talk to you a little bit about, and I want to learn from you, and I have learned from you just how you share on LinkedIn.
Ooh.
He's very transparent. So Sims is a very good person to follow on LinkedIn because,
I second that.
I connected. Did
You
you
did.
connect back?
I did.
Okay.
Sometimes I get denied. Okay.
Yeah, so he's just really raw. Like, and I think I remember times of you maybe being a little distant, and then all of a sudden you come back and you'll share, like, I've been in a really dark time,
Mhm.
you know? And I think there's a lot of people that can, identify with that, right? And so tell me a little bit around your purpose of why you're so transparent on LinkedIn. And I'd also like to hear, like, obviously not everybody likes that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you hear that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, but you probably hear a lot of good comments too. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, the first thing that I'll say is that I'm going to go deep here on the LinkedIn side for just a second. I did an exercise recently where I went through all of my viral posts over the past year to analyze, like, what worked, what didn't, what made me money, and what didn't. And something I found very interesting is
So you
that-
make money on LinkedIn?
Yeah, like if I make a post, a specific type of post, I will get an inbound lead to call me and sign up to work for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I do sponsored posts for a couple of groups, so technically I make
Yeah,
money
there's
from
some-
LinkedIn there. But when I think about, like, converting inbound
Mhm.
customers,
I gotcha.
one of the interesting things that I found is that my most viral post of all time was about alcoholism, very transparent about the journey, and it did a lot of reach, but it didn't make me any money or anything or help my business at all. And the reason I call that out is because I think there are a lot of people who believe folks that share deeply personal stuff on social media are doing it to capitalize on it
Sure.
from a financial perspective. And I can tell you right now that there are 10 other post types that I can write that make me money, and this one never does. But I'm going to keep talking about my journey on LinkedIn. And the reason is because I never had anyone in my life when I was young, when I was going through this stuff, to talk to me about it, to help me understand I wasn't the only person in the world that this was happening to. So the reason that I think I am on this earth is to make life a little brighter for everybody I meet. And part of that is using my story. And if I put up the post I put up last week about the suicide story, if only one person sees it and
Yeah.
it helps them, and there are strangers, and I'm glad that they do, that reach out to me in crisis that I have to help get put into treatment or find resources and things, and it's because I talk about that. So I like to believe that maybe I haven't saved people's lives, but I've made people feel seen and feel heard enough to get help. So that's why it's so important to me to do that. And it's also healing for me. Every time I tell my story, it hurts badly, but the pain is lessened every time I tell it. It takes the power away from it. But you're absolutely right. Not everyone likes it. But
What do they say? Like, give me somebody that doesn't like it. What feedback are they
most
giving you?
people are afraid to bring negative comments about that kind of thing
Sure.
directly to me,
Okay.
but they usually get back to me.
Okay.
But most of the time it's just, hey, this kind of stuff doesn't belong here. The typical boomer, this isn't Facebook stuff. But I'm thankful for that to a degree. And I'll tell you why. And that is because if we write anything worth reading, if we say anything worth saying, it's going to piss somebody off. And if everybody
Yeah.
likes it, it means nobody cares about us. Nobody cares we exist.
That's really true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets over anything you've posted on LinkedIn or any social media?
I think the only potential regret that I have now that I get about 100,000 impressions a week on LinkedIn. So a lot of people looking at me, and I used to post pictures of my kids. I still will sometimes, but now I never put like their faces or anything. That's the only thing that I'm a little, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But no, I don't regret any of my deep pain and trauma that I air on the internet. Not at all.
Living out loud is not something you have qualms about.
Well, and it's who I actually am, so it feels good.
And I mean, just you've got some old school LinkedIn, I guess ideologies that people have, that it's very obvious that LinkedIn's changing.
It is.
And I think it certainly does need to stay business focused, but this line between what personal life and business is our personal life has a lot to do with our business.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point in my career with what I do, if I don't like you, I'm not going to take you on as a client. It doesn't matter how much money you're going to pay me. Yeah. So I need to know what you're like in your personal life.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to bring up a contrast here because our first guest was the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. He said that he can silo the things, like he can separate.
That's very emotionally healthy behavior.
So you're the crazy one? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's to a certain degree, right? Like, but he did say that he walks into his house, he doesn't think about work.
Yeah, he leaves
He goes to work,
at the door
he doesn't think about his house.
when he walks into his house. And
is he hiring?
Probably. He's very successful.
Yeah, he's very successful. And he's a great guy.
Yeah, it was great. But like it's just interesting, like everyone's take. Because
but he's also not a millennial.
He's not. And I did ask him, do you need to like the people that report to you? Mm-hmm. And he looks more for someone who can execute and someone who's curious. Okay. And I like those traits too, but I also want to enjoy being around you. Like what you just said, like you want to like somebody if you're going to be spending time with them, that is important to you.
And that's interesting because I would say that I don't view business the way that this guy does. And it may be a product of
he's in technology.
When he grew up and when I grew up, or what he does, or whatever.
There's probably a lot of variables there.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think about my life as like work and life.
Yeah.
It's just life.
It's all of it.
And I want to enjoy my days. If I didn't have to work for money, I probably wouldn't. But because I do, I want to enjoy the work I do, at least to a degree.
And the people you do it with. And,
the people I do it with. And then like I said, I work from home. When my kids aren't at school, they're in my house. My life and my work blend together constantly. So I could never leave work at the door, so to speak.
Sure.
And then you've got like the Scotty Scheffler mentality, because Coach Fields is on here, and he was talking about how he told Scotty Scheffler, because Scotty, when he was in college, that's when he was dealing with basically three loves of his life. He had the love of golf, he had the love of God, and he had the love of his soon-to-be wife. And he was having a really hard time managing that. And Coach just told him, like, you've got to get to a point when you're at the golf course, you're focused on golf.
You're present.
When you're with your wife, you focus on your wife. When you've got school, which you don't really love school, but when you're at church, you focus on church. And I think probably the faith part is probably hard to.
No, that's foundational.
That's probably not.
But it's like to be present.
But Scotty actually. He gives credit to a lot of his success from that instruction that he got from Coach Fields. And that's a young person trying to figure out, like, how can I excel at this thing that I feel called to excel at,
Well, and it's difficult because my life blends so much together, and because I've got a lot of notoriety on social media, it is difficult when I'm supposed to be turned off to always be turned off.
Sure.
Mhm.
Tell
Yeah.
me, because we're in different generations, right? So I'm Gen X. You're a generation behind me. What is the most frustrating thing about dealing with people maybe in my generation or above? And what is the most frustrating label you feel that your generation
Yeah.
has that isn't true?
I think the most frustrating thing professionally for when I talk to people that are older than me, is this like mentality for loyalty to a company.
Okay.
My dad is still in the workforce. He's the CEO of a company. He's been with them for forever, climbed the ladder there, and he's even talked to me about it. But the work world that I walked into is so much different than the work world older people had. Like, there are still people, that started work 20, 30 years before me that are still working today that have pensions. Of course I'd be loyal to a company if they give me a pension. Are you kidding me? But
Yeah.
I had a company fire me on a Saturday when my first son was 5 days old. Like, there is no loyalty. It is
Okay.
a business transaction.
Mhm.
So that bothers me. The label that I think frustrates me the most is like laziness around
Yeah.
millennials. I own 3 companies. I'm not.
I think it's an unfair label.
I think it is too. But most labels are, even the one I just threw back at the older crowd. That not everybody that's a Gen X or a Boomer has that mentality.
So when you're having your speaking engagements related to mental health, I mean, is there a certain goal that you're focused on,
Yeah.
with those speaking engagements?
The goal is, it depends on the audience, right? The goal is either to make someone who's suffering with something similar feel seen and heard, or it is to make folks who have the power to impact other people's mental health, to make
Yeah.
them think about it differently.
Make them
Yeah.
aware.
Yeah.
Do you find that most leaders and executives and organizations, do you find that they don't care or they're just not informed?
They're not informed.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
is almost never that they don't care. I gave a keynote to about 250 CFOs and CPOs in Wisconsin last month or the month before. And when I got done, there was a line of those decision makers that came up to me and said, "Hey, we didn't know, but we've been part of the problem because we've thought that this skinny little EAP solution is all we need to take care of our people." And that was really, really encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
Because that's all that I'm asking is, hey, go take a look. Really take a look at your claims data, at what your people tell you, at what you're offering. And if it's good enough, if it takes care of everybody, great, nothing to do. But really look at it and really ask yourself, are you building a culture that's supportive of mental health? And are you building benefits packages that will support your people when they need it most?
Do you ever tell them to play secret shopper? And this is what I mean. I do this sometimes at my job, but I will test the system.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to know that what we say is working is actually working. So I'd want to call the
Yeah.
hotline and be like, what actually happens? What's the process behind it? Do you ever recommend that?
I don't, but I should. The closest I get is reminding C-suite folks of like very simple things like that. A therapy appointment is probably going to cost $150, and your lower paid employees, your entry level employees, they cannot afford.
Mhm. That's a lot.
Well, and most therapists want to see you once a week when they start.
And you need to.
And you need to.
Honestly, yeah, if you want it to be most effective.
But I think that would be helpful, because I think, if you're a CEO or a CFO making $400,000 a year, you don't think about access. You don't think about cost, because if you need something, you can get it. I mean, I think we're probably all in a similar boat. Like, if I need a therapy appointment today and it's $150, I can get it. If I call that therapist and they say, well, you got to pay us double because it's a rush, I can pay it, right?
Mm-hmm.
but most people can't. But I like that idea. I am going to employ that. Go call your EAP 1-800 number and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be surprised. Like they'll get a busy signal, or they'll be put on hold for 40 minutes, or they'll find out somebody can talk to you more in depth in 50 days.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it does work.
It could be fantastic.
It is sufficient. I like that test.
What's your recommendation right now? Or whether that's a solution or collection of solutions, or
My recommendation is, and truly based on what we see in claims data, would be how I'd make the recommendation. But I think most companies need non-clinical support, subclinical support, and clinical support to reach all of their people.
Yeah.
So non-clinical would be like listeners on call shoulder. Subclinical would be like just-in-time learning. So think online learning, like a Spirance is an example where you just got a bunch of courses and stuff online that if I can type in panic attack and get some resources for that. And then the highest tier is clinical
but
work.
doesn't like ChatGPT solve that too?
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
Okay.
A lot of people are using ChatGPT as their therapist, though.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
And I guess there has been some news stories of some really bad advice, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. I love AI. Use AI a lot.
Yeah.
But AI hallucinates. AI gives us incorrect information when it doesn't have enough to pull from. So I like...
And you don't always know the intent
No, you
that
don't.
AI is...
And there are specialty products for this, like the Healthcare Navigator. It's a company based here in Dallas. Kayla Shawn is the CEO. She built a closed large language model that is an AI therapist inside of her healthcare navigation tool. It's trained on things that clinicians are trained on, and it doesn't pull information from Reddit, which is where 40% of ChatGPT's information comes from.
Wait, 40% of chat.
Something like that. Can somebody fact check me?
Yes, testing.
So it scares me. But
want
you
me
bring
to
up
ask
you bring up a good
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT.
you bring up a good point, which is that when we don't provide employees with the resources they need, that they will go look on their own.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to choose something that's free or really low cost, like a ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
I think in certain situations, if you've got a product that was built for that, you know what kind of information's inside of it, that'll work. And then the last tier is clinical, which is either you have an EAP, you have a direct contract with a therapy provider or something like that.
Lightning round time.
Lightning round?
Dude, this is we're getting to the conclusion, but man, I'm just so thankful that you came, and you know, because this isn't going to be deep stuff, but I'm really thankful for the person that you are and the transparency that you bring, and I do think you're helping a lot of people.
Well,
so thank you.
I
brother.
appreciate y'all giving me a platform to share the story.
Yeah,
You've been fun.
yeah. Lightning round
Just wait
time.
until this lightning round.
Oh, it's not over. No. Okay. Some of these are repeat questions that Matt's heard. Okay. Early bird or night owl?
I'm naturally a night owl, but I'm an early bird now.
What time you wake up?
4:30.
That is an early.
See, that's an early.
Yeah. The guy
Probably the the most accomplished person that we've had at this table at this point, Marty B. He said he was an early bird, but he wakes up at 7.
Yeah, he goes
I get up at
7.
10.
And I'm like, that's not early bird.
That's not early
Okay,
bird.
all right. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Oh, thank God. Your go-to karaoke song?
What are you gonna say when somebody says cats?
Get
you
out.
say thank God every time.
I have my dog tattooed
I'm
on my
getting
bicep.
there. I'm going to get there. Go-to karaoke
My
song.
favorite karaoke song is really inappropriate. Do you want me to say it still?
Yeah.
This is a place to be real.
Yeah.
Bitches Ain't Shit by Dr. Dre.
That's so great.
I cannot wait to hear that. When
We're
can
gonna
we
listen
go?
to that on the way
I
home.
have a piano cover of it. I'll play it for you over there if you want.
I believe you. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. One word your friends would use to describe you.
Real.
How many tattoos do you have?
I don't know.
What will the next one be?
I don't know, but I got this one done at Elm Street Tattoo, and I don't have any plans this evening, so who knows? I might go to Elm Street and get something.
Is that on Greenville? Where's Elm Street? It's on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's somewhere in
Do
Dallas.
you have the same person?
I don't
that
know
does
downtown
a lot
Dallas
of them,
that well.
or?
Yeah,
Okay.
most of mine were done by a guy named Ethan Chandler in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
But I told you I got this one at Elm Street. I got
I mean,
this
it's good.
one and this one at Smith Street in Brooklyn a few weeks ago. I got this one in Denver. So when I
So you
try,
have some fresh.
So you're
ones.
getting after it right
Yeah.
now.
oh,
And
always.
your tattoo game is you're getting
I
after
need a
it.
number. Have your bride.
You gotta
count.
have a number.
For those that are just
9,
listening,
11,
he's counting.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I think I'm wrong on that. 30 plus.
Okay, I think that's a good number. That's a good number. Unlimited sushi or unlimited tacos?
Unlimited tacos. That's hard, though.
Are clowns creepy or funny?
They're creepy.
I know. Texting or calling?
Calling. I talk on the phone
Yeah.
all the time, all day long.
I appreciate that, man.
Okay.
It's so much more personal. I
Yeah.
text too, but I prefer to call.
Okay. What app on your phone do you use the most?
LinkedIn. Yeah, it's boring, but that is what it is.
It is what it is.
The other guy, somebody
is what
said
it
weather.
is. I think he said the weather app. I'm like, how often are you paying attention to the
I've
weather?
got this sick app you guys need to check out. Mine is really sad. Mine is like LinkedIn and then my like nutrition tracking app and then probably Spotify.
Those are
Okay.
all good value-added apps.
Yeah.
And something.
I've got a new app. I don't have my phone on me. Yuka. You just scan barcodes of any food, and it tells you the nutritional value of that food on a point system from 0 to 100.
Are you
But it-
using it?
Yeah, but you don't realize almost everything you eat is bad.
Very
Like,
bad.
It's really bad, and especially packaged food.
Yeah.
But like those Quest chips that are in Costco and stuff right now, they're like Quest chips, potato chips or whatever, protein chips. Those were rated horrible compared to like Sun chips.
Just because
Sun
all the
chips
bad.
are so much better. All the bad stuff that
Yeah.
they put into it. Yeah. So
yeah, we don't think about what they got to do to get all that protein in their chips.
Yeah. I knew that we were going to go to this.
Oh
I knew
no!
we were gonna
Are we
talk
talking
about
about
this.
protein and chips? I would quit listening.
What are
if
they
I
going to
were-
put protein in next?
Well, dude, thank you so much. And I think you're going to be somebody that probably really agrees with this because you've gone through a lot of really hard things, but it's made you the person that you are. No matter what season you're in, growth is coming.
It is, and growth is always painful when you're in it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks
for
for your
having me.
time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.